Goss, 6'6", freshman middle, went to Dos High School. Little spin, goes deep over towards Kanda. Nikolov looks, back row over to Hrstinovich, and Hrstinovich delivers down the line. Hrstinovich
has been going cross court. That's the first time he's really gone line. There's a lot of line to hit to, but he's coming out of the back row.
McRaven back to serve for the Beach, trailing by a pair at 18-20. Floats it to Heno, hand pass. Carlos back over to Darcy. Darcy hits it wide and out of play. And looks like there's a lot of movement in the net. So Coach Dave Griffin, little guy with the
whole play. Then you've got the line judges for the lines. Well, down refs all of a sudden starts watching the ball, misses nets. Oh, I didn't. Did you see a net?
No, we got to go in a different, same sideline, but a little slower there. But we are looking, Brian Brokenbow, the R2, still looking at the footage as well. Let's see if we can catch it here. I didn't see one there.
I didn't. Varga was over, but I didn't see any kind of a touch of the net at all.
But there was movement on the net is the thing.
Did you see movement?
There was bouncing after they both landed. So who vehemently was demanding Niffin pull the challenge card. It had to be a micronet on Varga. It's the only thing that could have been.
He was way, way, way over.
Hey, thank goodness I'm not a referee. I would have called no net.
Yeah. I'm kind of glad you're not a ref, Rob.
21-18, good pass by Kandav. Nikolov over towards Kandav, and he knocks it off of Carlos again.
I would venture they're 100% hitting the bick out of the back row.
And he doesn't let back on his swing either.
No, but they run an interesting play. They run the middle towards the right sideline and then run the bick away from that. So you're actually hitting out of two different spots.
Nikolov back to serve. Top ace getter on the Beach. Goes off speed to Heno. Good pass to Carlos. Back to Heno. Heno winds up with a windmill swing and puts it away. 22-19.
Varga sees the roundhouse happening. He's way up in the air. Tries to keep his hands up there long enough to get it.
That brings Heno back to serve for the Anteaters. Heno on the night. 19 kills, hitting .412 for the Anteaters. High spin toss down the line off of Varga, pass way off the net. Nikolov looks to Hrstinovich. He goes up top of the block, and that is a lot of blocker he hit it off of.
Yeah.
Hrstinovich could only go upward on that one.
Smart hit. And the deep part of the court.
Actually, I've been emphasizing it's Hrstinovich. My bad. So Skylar Varga steps back to serve, trailing by a pair. Varga spins it over towards Aitken, towards Carlos, outside to Flexen. Flexen denied by Hrstinovich and Braun, and knocking on the door are the Beach here in second.
A lot of us going to grad school here.
Skylar Varga back to serve, 21-22. Delivers down the line to Flexen. Carlos back over to Heno on the 40, and he puts it away and is fired up. 23-21.
That was a key put away right there. That's his 20th kill.
And that brings Max Grigorev serving for UC Irvine. Grigorev stands at 6'4" and goes into the net. 22 looking at 23. Ben Braun has sustained a serve with Long Beach State out of substitutions here in our third set. What kind of serve will he hit? It's going to be a hybrid float. Goes short towards Heno. Carlos to Darcy. Darcy off the block, dug by Braun. Outside to Kandav. Kandav tips over the block, dug by Aitken. Carlos back over to Heno. Heno blocked by McRaven and Hrstinovich, and we're tied at 23s.
That became a little bit too predictable.
23-23, new ball game here in the red zone of our third set. Braun with a clutch one-hand dig.
Yeah, pretty good for a 6'11" guy.
Flexen, Carlos to Flexen. Flexen off the block and out of play. And it's set point Irvine, their first of the night, serving at 23 with Darcy back to serve. Darcy on the evening, 7 kills in 250, 3 digs to tag onto the stat line, floats it over towards Varga. Nikolov, the Kandev, he goes wrist away, they're tied, 24s. He had one-on-one, he had so many places to go.
And Joe was the one.
Hershtinovich back to serve at 24s. Hershtinovich, outside, opposite hitter from Canada, off the cable. Aitken, good pass. Carlos back to Heno, and a net violation on the beach. That was Kandev. His hands are beneath the bottom tape, and he jumped up and grabbed it.
Again, as the match goes, focus is the hard thing.
Set point number 2, serving at 24. Nolan Flexen serving. Flexen wears that number 9 jersey, 6'9" outside from Rio Rancho, New Mexico, serves it long. Point going to the beach, and we're tied. 25s. Kandev back to serve for the beach. Kandev on the night again, a huge offensive force. 14 kills, 1 error, hitting .591. High toss. Ball's passed by Aitken. Carlos outside to Heno. Heno denied up top by Nikolov and McRaven. And we've got a reversal of fortune. Match point Long Beach State serving at 25. We've got a timeout taken by UC Irvine. That was a huge swing by Heno, but Nikolov and McRaven were having none of it as they turned both their hands in.
He tried to take it down the line off the outside block his hand, but
Long Beach State, Kandev, no aces, 5 service errors on the night so far. Goes towards Aitken. Carlos over to Heno. Heno off the block, dug by Larson, set by Nikolov. Trapped on the net, denied, covered by McRaven. Nikolov back out to Varga. Varga denied on the triple block by Heno, Goss, and Carlos. We're tied at 26s. There's a lot of fire happening on both sides of net.
Yeah,
there's a little more passion here.
Aiden Rigg in for blocking.
Aiden Rigg checks in for Joe Carlos. Rigg, the 6'5", redshirt freshman center from Honolulu, Hawaii, and Punahou.
I hope he realizes that Varga's hitting on the left here, and he's going cross court.
Goss back to serve, tied up at 26s. Goss serves long. And it's match point number 2, Long Beach State serving at 26. McRaven back to the service line for the beach. McRaven offensively, 6 kills, 1 error. Heno hand pass back to Heno. Heno blocked up top, dug by Irvine, goes up and over, scooped by Nikolov. Free ball goes up and out of play. Long Beach State had a chance, but everyone was just looking at each other.
Yeah. Yeah, boy, that was Nikolov just made a PE 2-hand double scoop.
There's no such thing as a double anymore.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. It was like the 6th period PE with football players.
Picnic volleyball, deep float, hand pass by Varga. Nikolov, big to Kandev. Kandev blasts it off of Aitken, and it's match point number 3. Long Beach State serving at 27. Moni Nikolov back to serve. We got a challenge by UC Irvine. I think it's a back row attacker violation. But
yep.
Attack line fault is the challenge by UC Irvine. So the play is under review again. The original calls Alex Kandev, comes out of the back row on the pipe or big attack. David Nippon is challenging that he has stepped on the 10-foot line for a tackle line
his
fault.
foot has to be behind the 10-foot line. He can land in front.
That's close. That's not a good angle for us here, but
I don't think that didn't look too much like a violation.
well, but then again, this is a timeout in essence to throw the server off or ice the server. So we have our decision on the court. Challenge unsuccessful. So Irvine down a challenge now. They have 2 remaining. Moni Nikolov serving for match point number 3 to 27. Can the freshman phenom do it from the service line? Top server for Long Beach State, actually in the nation this year, averaging over 1.17 aces per set. High spin, goes into the court, and gets the walk-off ace, but we're going to have a challenge. So Coach David Niffen immediately jumped up, and he was on that end line. Original call by the referee on duty was that the ace was in, the serve was in, making it an ace and match going to Long Beach State. That's a good foot in. So it's going to be unsuccessful. Long Beach State, that was like a foot in.
Yeah.
So, but we'll wait for the official. And on the court, it's official. Long Beach State defeats UC Irvine 3-0, 25-20.